All right, today is December 13th already, and this is our first kickoff call with our new coaches. Well, not really a kickoff call, it's your first week call because you're in the thick of your training, and you guys are doing great. I'm not a real active member in that group, but I pop in and out of there every once in a while just to see how you guys are doing. And I always like to do these weekly calls just to touch base with you, answer your questions, and really give you a valuable piece of information to take and implement in the week. So the big thing from this week is you were getting your feet wet with your social media. That was the biggest thing. And it's important whenever you do your social media for the first time, all of a sudden this, your Facebook and Instagram or your like page, whatever you're doing, it was used just for social before, right? And now all of a sudden you're running a business through your Facebook page. And it's hard to make that switch sometimes. But this whole week you were getting into the swing of posting 3 to 5 times a day, posting from the perspective of a coach, not just somebody who's just on Facebook. And there was a reason for that, because this coming week you're going to be starting your inviting vital behavior and putting your all calls out there. And that is really crucial that people, whenever they get that message from you, they go back and they're going to creep on your page. They're going to see all of this value that you've been adding into your Facebook for the past week or plus, at that point. So there is a method to my madness with this coach training as far as the order of things. So this week we're going to shift our mindset into the inviting realm as we go. Before I get, into the topic for tonight, do you guys have any questions for me that have not already been answered in your coach training? Okay, well, if you think of any, you can go ahead, you can type in the chat bar, and Lisa will probably be able to respond to you faster in the chat bar than I will be able to here, because I'll be kind of on a roll. But if you think of any, type it in the chat bar, and then at the end, of course, we'll take questions and you can unmute yourself and ask. But the topic we're going to cover tonight is all about it's going to be about leading a conversation. Now, this is something whenever I came in as a new coach where it reminded me a lot of sorority recruitment, if you were a sorority girl in college. And it reminded me how it's like, oh, you're just holding a conversation. But I know whenever you're holding a conversation about something that you're new at, it's harder. It's really easy to hold a conversation maybe about your favorite hobby or your family, because that topic so well. But whenever you all of a sudden switch and all of a sudden you're a Beachbody coach and you're expected to hold a conversation with somebody about a challenge group, it can be a little bit hard at first to make sure your ultimate goal is to get that success club point, to get that challenge pack sale, to get a challenger in your challenge group, and it can be hard to get to that point. So I'm going to give you some tips and tricks to kind of help you with that when you talk to your customers. So here's what you can expect. I'm going to give you some tools to be in control of the conversation as you go about it, and also the order that you should be talking to people as you talk to them, as they approach you, as you approach them about joining your challenge group. So we're going to do how to lead a conversation. The key is to ask questions all the time. Always ask questions. Be in control of that conversation. Acknowledge their questions that they're going to ask you, but always steer the conversation back to where you want it to go. Okay? This is a great example, and I get this all the time. I got this actually, I think 3 times this week through my invites. It was, yes, I would love some more information. How much does it cost? Maybe you were somebody who were like, hey, how much does it cost? Right out of the gate. And we know that if we just throw that price tag out there at them, it's going to scare them a little bit, right? I know when my coach told me how much it cost, she didn't throw it right out there at the beginning, but whenever she threw it out how much it cost, I was kind of like, oh, that's a little expensive. Because, it is for some people, $160, $180, $140. If they're expecting a price tag in their head of $50, that's triple what they had in mind. Now, some people have no problem with that price tag, but if you give it to them right up front, they're going to have more of a hesitation. So here's what not to do. Great, it's going to be $140. That's not what you should do. That's going to scare them away because you haven't put value into that price tag yet. Right now, to them, it's just $140 that maybe they do have it, but they don't have a reason to spend it in whatever you're inviting them to because you haven't given them a reason to yet. Here's what you should do. Great. There is a fee involved, but it all depends on the program that you choose. Can I ask you a few questions to help figure out a great program for your goals and your lifestyle? See how you've taken control back of the conversation now? You have acknowledged their question. There is a fee involved, but it all depends on the program that we choose. Let's find out which one works best for you. Usually whenever I use this, people say, yeah, absolutely, ask your questions. And I just assure them, it'll be super easy questions and we'll go right into, asking our questions. But you acknowledge their presence and their question and you overcome it. I didn't share the price tag with them, but I also didn't ignore it. So I want you to think too, whenever you were a student in a classroom, and you had a dying question, a burning question you had to ask your teacher, and your hand's raised, and your teacher's just ignoring you, right? Because she's doing her lesson, she's involved in what she's doing. Are you paying attention to anything that teacher is telling you? No, you're not at all. You're thinking about your burning question. Even if it's, I have to use the bathroom, that's all you're thinking about is how bad you have to pee, okay? So think about that in your customer. If you have not acknowledged their price tag question, what are they thinking about the entire time that you're talking to them? The price. They're not listening to anything you say. So all the value you're giving them is they're not even acknowledging it because you haven't validated their question of the price. You haven't shared the price with them yet, but you've at least validated it so that they can accept what you have to tell them now. So validate it and overcome it. So here are some example questions to ask for your next order. What would be your overall goal with the program? Would you want to lose weight, tone up, better nutrition, etc.? What has been your biggest setback to reaching that goal? How would you feel if you were able to reach that goal? That's a big one. How would you feel if that goal were to happen? What types of workouts do you like? What types of workouts do you hate? How would you describe your current fitness level? How much time do you have to dedicate to a workout each day? And then any special circumstances I should know about. These are my go-to questions. These are what I ask every potential challenger in that order every single time. It lets me see where they are going. If they want to lose weight, usually they say all three. Sometimes they'll just say tone up. And it's so funny. People rarely say better nutrition. When we all know as coaches, that's, 90% of your results is in the kitchen. So that's always an interesting thing that I see when I go through. And also make sure you have them rate their fitness level. You wouldn't want to recommend, prime example, I had a customer who we've been chatting about the 21-day fix, and she was going to order and then it fell through. And then she saw all my promotional information about Hammer and Chisel. She said, hey, can you send me some information about Hammer and Chisel? I said, hey, absolutely, I'll give you some information. I said, what happened with the 21-day fix? She's like, I think I just really need something to kick my butt. I think this is going to kick my butt. And I said, 21-day fix is a hard workout. I said, and I would hate for you to get Hammer and Chisel and be discouraged because it's a really hard workout. I said, I want you to have success with this right away, right out of the gate. And I said, I don't want you to get discouraged because Hammer and Chisel is super intense. I said, 21-day fix is a great workout. I said, it's going to give a great baseline for you. And I would really recommend you starting there before we go into Hammer and Chisel. And she was totally okay with that. She said, thank you so much for your honesty. I appreciate it. When you think about the people first, which I was thinking about her, instead of just, I would get 2 Success Club points if she bought Hammer and Chisel right now, you're going to retain that customer longer. I've built her trust up even more in me because it's not about the sale. It's about finding the best fit for them and their goals and their lifestyle. So another really important question that I always ask is about allergies and injuries, especially the allergies. If they're lactose intolerant, guys, regular Shakeology is probably not going to agree with them. It has a whey protein that's dairy-based, where the vegan Shakeology has no dairy in it at all. So that's a big thing that you want to make sure you ask people, because if you give them Shakeology and they're like, it just upsets my stomach, it's horrible, and they're lactose intolerant, that's going to upset their stomach, where if they had the vegan, it wouldn't as much. So remember, this is all before talking about any price or any program with them. You're just getting to know them. You're holding a conversation. You are making them feel appreciated. You do a whole lot of listening at this point, not a whole lot of talking. You ask them questions, you relate to them as you go through. When they say, I want to lose weight, but that I'd really like to, make my nutrition better. I relate back to them, say, hey, that's awesome. I wanted to lose weight eventually too. And I really learned that the nutrition was really key to keeping it off in the end. I related back to their answer instead of just going through these questions in a list. I go through them one by one. I don't send them all of these questions at one time. That would be really overwhelming. Okay. Now that we've asked all these questions, now you can recommend a program. You've gotten to know your customer. Now you know what to recommend to them. You have a little bit more of a sound judgment. So you want you to restate their original goals when you recommend. For example, all right, I have a great program in mind for you. It has 30-minute workouts that are similar to a circuit training, but also has a wide variety. It also has an amazing nutrition plan that will really make dieting non-existent and transition you right into a healthy lifestyle. It is really going to help you with your goals and weight loss and better nutrition. Now through the question, this is what I sent to somebody who bought a 21-day fix challenge pack. I related it back to all the questions that we talked about. She said she really liked circuit training workouts. And the 21-day fix is similar to circuit training because you do it for a minute and then you repeat. And it also has a wide variety because she said she didn't like to do the same thing every day. She said she hated dieting because it never worked for her. So I reinforced that this isn't a diet. It's something that's going to help her create a lifestyle. And it's going to help her with her overall goal of weight loss and better nutrition. You validated every single thing that you learned about her in your brief description of a product. Now you have to explain the program to them, right? Because great, you've given them a great teaser. This is going to help you with your goals, but you have to tell them more about it. Sometimes I'll send a video to them, depending on the person and the amount of time that I have. I use videos a lot now that I have 2 kiddos running around after me, or me after them most days. So I send videos. Those videos are in your back office. Talk to your upline coach about how to get to them. And that's what I send to them sometimes. Other times I have time to actually sit down and hold a conversation with them. This whole process goes a lot faster on the phone. So if you're able to get your potential challenger on the phone, absolutely do that, because they're going to be able to hear the genuineness in your voice, and also they're going to be able to hear your passion and that you actually have their best interests at heart. It's not lost in translation in the messaging world. So when you start explaining the program, don't word vomit on them. I did it all the time. And I'll tell you, those original people that I word vomited on, they still have not bought a challenge pack from me. Okay. So you're going to word vomit because you're a new coach, and I did it too. Everybody does. But if I can tell you tools not to do that, I'm going to as well. You need to break the program down for them into easy to understand words. All right. For me, for every program, I usually explain how the meal plan portion works, then the workouts, then the challenge group, because every Beachbody program couples those 3 things together for success. They have the meal plan that is made by a certified trainer, nutritionist through Beachbody. They have the workouts that are made by great trainers. And then they have you, the missing link that brings them success, which is the challenge group, the accountability. So make sure you're explaining all 3 of those avenues that you go over. Also, I already explained the videos. Sometimes too, I'll have people who, they love yoga, but they need better nutrition. So, I'll say, here I have 2 different options for you. I'll give them a brief description of the 21-day fix, a brief description of PiYo, and say, just based on those brief descriptions, which one sounds like it'd be a more your style? And they'll say one or the other. Or I'll say, I'm going to send you over 2 videos to watch, and then based on the video, which one appeals to you more? And I'll send them over the 2 videos. That lets them feel a little bit more in control, right? It lets them feel like they have a choice, that they have some options and that they're picking the program for themselves, not just doing whatever you tell them to do. So know your customer a little bit and know what is going to work with them. And you'll find that out by asking those really great questions at the beginning. So have you noticed we still haven't shared a price tag yet with them? All right. We're still adding value to that product. This is how we close with class. We never ask them at the end, so any questions? Because they're probably not going to think about it. I want you to think of some guiding ways that you can get them to elicit some questions, get them to answer them for you. So tell me, what did you like best about the program? You've already explained the meal plan, the workouts, the challenge group. What did you like best about what you heard? Can you see yourself incorporating this into your lifestyle? That's key, because if they can already envision themselves using the containers, working out, being a part of that challenge group, then you're adding value to it really, really well. Any questions you may have before I grab you a price tag? And when you ask all these questions, they're envisioning themselves using the program. You're asking them what they like best. Don't ask them what they don't like, because that's negative. Ask them what they do like. Okay? Now you're ready for a price. All right? And if you notice, I never just send over, this is $160. Always send out a breakdown of what they get, because they get an awful lot with that money. In our team page in Classically Fit, there is a challenge pack price breakdown in the file section that I use every single time that I talk to a potential customer. You can copy and paste right from it, and it has pretty much all the most popular challenge pack price breakdowns. And you can see that I put on there one-on-one coaching from me and that closed Facebook group for accountability. That is vital. You are the missing link to their success, guys. You are the reason that they're going to have success as the coach. Okay, so make sure you put the value there, because that's really, really, really important. Now, if you look at this, If you have put value in this program and the price isn't scary, all right? The price isn't scary anymore. It's either 100% doable for that potential challenger. They're going to say, yeah, sign me up. I want to do this. Or they may say, you know what, I can't do that right now, but I want to in the future. If they say, I can't do it right now, but I want to in the future, I say, hey, I totally understand. When would be a better time for you? I can put you on my follow-up list. Okay, now they have an idea of how much they will be spending at a later date. And you better believe that if they're like, I can't afford the $160 right now, when 21 Day Fix or PIO or Hammer and Chisel, whatever the program is, goes on sale, they'll be the first people I follow up with at the beginning of the month. Okay, so know that the price doesn't have to be scary. If you add value to it, it's not going to be scary. It's going to be 100% doable, or they know how much they're going to be spending at a later date. A no truly is a not right now. It's not a no, never. Now, I have had some people who say, hey, don't send me any more messages. And I go, hey, totally fine. I completely respect their request, because if I had somebody from another MLM company who I said, hey, please don't send me messages, keep sending me messages, I would get really annoyed. So if somebody asks me, hey, don't bother sending me any more messages, I don't. I respect their wishes. But if they say, hey, I'm just not interested right now, you better believe they're going to get a follow-up from me in a couple months, because I so passionately and truly believe in these programs and how they work and how much they've changed my life, that I feel like every single person should have this in their life, and every single person should have the opportunity to do this. So make sure you don't let that fear of no scare you. And don't let that fear of yes scare you either. Sometimes we have a fear of yes, right? Oh my gosh, they've said yes, and now I have to put them in a challenge group, and now I have to coach them, and now they have this expectation that I'm the one that's going to help them reach their goals. That's when you rely on the programs. And the programs are made and tried and true and are there to set people up for success. And they are not the first person to use a Beachbody program. You are a walking success story right now. You're a product of the product. So you know that those programs work, and they came to work with you. So don't let the yes scare you just as bad as the no scares you. So here's your call to action. As you start talking with potential customers and challengers this week, I want you to implement at least one thing from this training into your conversations. This is recorded. Go back, rewatch it. I'll post it in your new coach training group. Go back through. I can post the slides too. If you guys want to copy and paste from the slides, I will do that. But don't word vomit on people, okay? Don't bombard them with paragraphs upon paragraphs of information, because facts tell, but stories sell. They want to hear from you. They want to hear your way of doing things. Don't just hammer them with facts. That's not going to get them to want to say yes anymore. Okay, take time to get your customer before you recommend a program or reveal a price tag. That's so key, guys. They need to feel like you care about them from the moment you send them that invite to the moment you are with them on their weight loss journey or their journey to better nutrition or a healthy lifestyle. They need to know that you are in their corner from the very beginning and that you have their best interest at heart. If you are in this to make $50 on a challenge pack commission, then you're not in this for the right reasons. The money is a great bonus. Don't get me wrong. That money is a huge motivator. But there is a phase and a family attached to that commission. And you have to put them first. And you have to realize that their success is your success. And to have a hand in somebody's success, guys, it's indescribable. To be able to be with that person as they start their journey and they have success, and to get the message from them when they say, I buttoned a pair of pants I haven't buttoned for years, or I went to the doctor and my cholesterol is finally back in a healthy range, or I was able to get off my blood pressure medicine. Guys, those are real testimonies, and it's amazing to be a part of that. So don't underestimate yourself as a coach. You are definitely able to do this. And I want you to remember as you're talking to people this week, because you will start conversations this week, I want you to remember what we talked about tonight and making sure that you're implementing the things that you know are to be true, okay? Hold a conversation with people. Remove yourself from if they're going to say yes or no at the end. Go in each day with, I'm going to have great conversations with people today. If you have that mindset as you're holding conversations, you will be so successful in this business. I promise you, because you'll be genuine and people are going to want to work with you. They're going to want their friends to work with you, and you're going to have great success. Do you guys have any questions for me about anything? Did this make sense, what we talked about tonight? Okay. I really hope that you'll be able to implement some of these things this week as you go about doing things. I really think you'll be able to. It'll be great. If you think of any questions, please let me know. You are always more than willing to message me on Facebook. I know you guys have a group message going on Facebook right now. Use that. It's great. You can also feel free to post in your coach training, and you can post in Classically Fit. So with that, I mean, that was pretty quick on my end to go through all that stuff. Do you guys have any questions for me at all? Not about what we talked about tonight, anything at all. Beachbody related. All right. Well, if you think of any, please let me know. Let your upline know. And we will definitely get those questions answered and get you guys, squared away. I'm going to go ahead and stop our video, and I will see you guys in about 20 for our team call. I'm going to go probably grab a quick bite to eat and nurse Harrison for a little bit. Okay. So I will see you guys in a few.